Okay, good day again, and hopefully the audio has been fixed on this video. Here we've got, we're dealing with the first of our examples. I'm going to go through the first one, potential solution that we did in the SQA language, which is your pseudocode-like language, and I'll do then the unknown number of times afterwards. So the first thing we're going to be doing is we're just going to be taking this code and we're going to be converting it into Java code. So we're going to start a new project of application, and we're going to call this example 1. And I'm going to create a main class, and this main class doesn't like spaces, so let's go with one name. And I'm going to call the package, I like calling my packages Pacman, dot, and we're going to call the main class main. Alright, so we've got our package Pacman. I'm just going to get rid of the comments. And then we've got our main class at the bottom there. Alright, so in the main we're going to do the code. I'm just going to /star, remember this is to write a comment, and I've put the, I want to copy and paste literally the other syntax into there. So let's copy that, let's paste it into here, and now I want to try to convert this into directly into Java code. Okay, so let's first start off with talks about declaring total initially to 0. So let's go and let's make our comments start after that. So declare total, initialize it to 0. So that would be int, because we know that it is going to be an integer. In this case it's a lap time. I think you would have milliseconds and lap time, so I'm going to make it a double as total, and I'm going to set it initially to be 0. Okay, so we've got our declare total initially to be 0. If you didn't want milliseconds, you could have called it an int. In both cases, it would have been completely fine. Floats are just better to initialize directly. I think you have to, you can't just initialize it to 0. You have to initialize it using another. I actually don't know. But yeah, so now it says declare lap time initially to 0 as well. So let's also make a double lap time, and let's set it initially to equal to 0 as well. So we've done those two lines. Now it says loop for counter 1 to 10, receive lap time, set total lap time, total plus lap time. Okay, so we're going to go for tab 1 to 10, 0 to while I is less than 10, that is equivalent. Counter in Java and other programming languages, I is used as counter. So we've done that. Now it's asking us to receive lap time. Now, to receive a lap time, you need to create a scanner, and remember you need to use your control spacebar so it will import it in here. So we're going to call it scanner in, and we're going to say is equal to new scanner, and we are going to go through an input stream, and we're going to work with the source system.in. Okay, so we've used an example here of getting an average lap time. So I'm going to ask the user for lap time. So the first thing I'll do is I'll ask the user enter lap number. Now remember, because we start at 0, we're going to say enter lap number I plus 1, so that we don't have lap 0, which people don't really like. Spacebar, and then we're going to get the user's input. Now we are storing it in a double, so we're going to be storing it in lap time. So we're now doing receive lap time. First is what we're going to be doing now. So to receive lap time, oops. To do that, we're going to store it into lap time. So lap time is equal to, maybe I should have just commented directly on each individual. Oh, okay. So receive lap time is going to be scanner. Nope, that's wrong. Scn dot next line. Now remember, this takes it as being a string. So if we just go next line, it takes it as the string, but we need to convert that. So we convert using double dot parse double, and then we'll send through the string to that variable there. So it'll convert what is sent through from the scanner into being a double and store it into lap time. And we're going to take our total and here it says set total is equal to total plus lap time. So if we do that exact same thing here, set total to equal total plus lap time, so total is equal to total plus lap time. And this would be correct syntax, would be set total to. So it's the same thing as saying this here. The previous syntax, this would be initializing, this would be the for loop that we were talking about, the counter. And now we're going to end the for loop. The end of the for loop is the same as this curly bracket here. So this means end the for loop. So this starts the for loop, that ends the for loop, curly bracket, curly bracket. Okay, so the next thing it says set average to be this total divided by 10. So we're going to make the average also a double. I'm just going to call it average, AVG, is equal to total divided by 10, semicolon. And then we would send average to display, so we'll set out the average lap time is space, and then we'll go plus AVG plus. It's a good idea to add a little bit of syntax, a little bit of structure to it, so it'll say is 25 seconds or 120 per lap, whatever it might be. Okay, so that's that done. I did go through that quite quickly, but you'll be able to pause and go back if you need to. So the equivalent of this code here is that there. I'm actually thinking of, I want to put it into the comments so that we can see it completely over here. Okay, so declare total initially to 0. That's the equivalent of this here. Declare lap time initially to 0. That's currently there. For counter 1 is equal to 10. That's equivalently this over here. This print line here is just, that's part of receiving the lap time. To receive the lap time, you need to ask the user for that you are asking for a lap time. You can't just go and receive it immediately. That's assumed in when you say receive lap time. Okay, receive lap time, set total lap time, as you see, we've already got that in there. N4 we haven't. The N4 is this over here. That ends the 4 is the closed curly brackets. The equivalent of set average to total minus that's this over here. And the equivalent of send average to display is that over there. Okay, so we've got the exact same thing from what we learned in our Java code. So it's been converted from the SQA standard pseudocode language into Java code over here, and the differences are linked between those. Now this is one solution, and I'm going to comment this whole thing out, and I can surround it with by highlighting and clicking the button there, and you'll see that is now surrounded with star forward slash star star forward slash. I've commented out this whole solution 1. So this is solution 1 to the problem. Now I'm going to go through, I'm not going to do solution 2 as well, so I'm going to just go straight through to solution 3 to the problem. So now when I do solution 3, you'll see that here it's for unknown number of times. There's a lot more lines of code, we have an array and all of that. So I'm going to highlight my whole thing, right click, copy. I'm going to put it into comments, forward slash star, enter, Control V, and now we're going to work with it line by line. Don't worry about that. Okay, so first we want to declare and initialize to 0. So forward slash declare lap time initially to open square brackets, square brackets. Now lap time is a double, so we'll put there double because we want decimal places. So I'm going to say double lap time, and we're going to say is equal to new double square brackets. We're going to make it size 100. Usually speaking, I'm not going to have this exact solution. Here we're going to store all 10 laps. So here we've created an array, so we use square brackets, lap time size 10. We don't deal with lists, so I'm not going to make it unlimited. You can potentially put a counter to it and have a number and make it very large, but we are going to deal with specifically a certain number of times that we are going to loop. So It won't be a direct conversion of this, so we're just going to be doing directly an array and store each individual lap time and then loop through that array. I'm not going to deal with that directly because you do not need to know that. Alright, now going from there, I'm going to loop through my array. So what I can do is I can just say lap time dot length, and what this will mean is it will loop from beginning lap time till end lap time. Again, we can use our scanner. I'm actually going to remove the scanner from my comments because I do think that is something that you would need all the time pretty much, because you're going to get input from the keyboard. So I'm going to leave my scanner open up there, and we're going to get input from the keyboard. I'm going to say enter lap number, and we're going to say and then we are going to ask the users for it. So again, we would do scn dot read line next line, sorry. Okay, and then we're going to have to convert that into a double, so we're going to go lap time. And now here's quite an important thing, we're referring to a specific position, so we're going to say position I, because I is constantly incrementing, so we'll be saying that is equal to, and then we're going to do double dot pass double, and we'll send through the string that was read in from there. So this would get all 10 laps put into an array, and now I can do whatever I want. So for example, what I can do is I can create a string display is equal to blank, and I could create a so it should be an equal sign, not a plus sign, equals to blank, and I'm going to create a integer, sorry, double total, and it's going to be equal to 0. Now what we're going to do is we're going to loop through our array. Now a shortcut for that, because now it's actually looping through the array, is if you go for I tab instead of just for tab, it will loop through the closest array that is there. Now in this case, so we're going to loop through our array. Now what we want to do with our array is if we want to add to our display, we're going to go plus equals. Remember, plus equals is the equivalent of display plus is equal to display plus something, so it's going to append it on the end, and we're going to append a literal of saying lap number plus I plus 1 was done in plus lap time I plus seconds sec, and then we'll put a backslash n, meaning it's going to backslash n as a character that represents a new line. So now I'm going to go and I'm going to say total, that's not how you spell total, plus equals lap time position I, semicolon. So we're going to increment it all to our total. So now we're going to say double average is equal to lap time divided by lap time, sorry, total divided by lap time dot length. Now the reason why I use dot length is now very easily I can change this to 100 laps or 5 laps, and everything will just work. So I can just change the length of the array, and this will work according to the length of the array. So in this case, I'm just going to do 5 for this example. And then now what we would do is we would go display plus equals, I'm going to start off with a backslash n, so there's an extra line break beforehand, so there'll be so then I'll add on there the total time, full colon space, plus total, plus backslash n, average time, full colon space, plus average, AVG, sorry. Okay, so now we would want to keep to convention that we were keeping to. Now that I've done that, when I run this program, if it works, okay, semicolon expected, I'm missing a plus or something somewhere. Okay, display plus equals total time plus total plus that plus, okay, there shouldn't have been a bracket here, I don't know why I added brackets there. And then what we would want to do is we would want to display our display. So I'm just going to do system.println, and I'm going to print out our display. Okay, so we've now got what we wanted together. We've created different variables, we've incremented onto there. I have gone through this quite quickly, but you can do it. If not, go back and check it out again. Alright, play. I'm into lap number 0, so lap number, because I just said it's fine. Lap number 0 was 20 seconds, 0.5. Lap number 1 was 19 seconds, 0.2. We had a little bit of a slip up, so 22.0, 23, 18. Okay, so see there, it'll now print out lap number 1 was done in 20.5 seconds, lap number 2 in 19.2, and so forth. Total time was 102.7 seconds. Average time was 20.54 seconds. So we have it now working where we've got our system, we store it into an array, we then display it at the end. And I can change the size by literally just taking this, putting 3, it will now do 3 times, 10 times, it'll do 10 laps, because all of them are based on the size of the array. This video was quite quick, hopefully you guys have learned from it. Enjoy your day.